Rarity fine! I got so big an army cocks, a gin and tonic on the rocks, where angels fear to tread. I say, choose your moves, let's hit the red eye! Think of young Diana Durbin and how she sung on rum and bourbon, or enhance your luncheon hour with a planter's punch and a whiskey sour. If you feel like a wreck, try a horse's neck or a sherry with a cherry in the new finer size. If you don't name your poison, I'll have to get the boys in. The spirit of adventure opens one's eyes.
Metal Gen,
double feature week again!
booyah, motherfuckers!
And after the extreme cliffhanger we left you with last time,
we're going to leave you an even better one after the next half hour.
And as we said last time, where we left our heroes, to the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven, through the Nazi lines, Primo Victoria! Anyway, let it begin!
Being the heat, or friendship is kinky.
Chapter 9! Let's spin this shit!
Alright. Luna waited impatiently in the highest room of her tower, tapping her hooves on the tiles. She was already feeling antsy, but she was unable to take her mind off it and focus on the task at hoof. She stopped a bit impatiently and found her anxiety spiking. Then lessening, she sensed the Shadowbolts returning. They flew through the window, bearing a confused-looking stallion in a vest and cow-coat hat.
Your Majesty! We both have to do this. Your Majesty!
The Shadowbolts chorused.
Excellent! Thy mission is complete!
Luna asked.
Yes!
Said the leader, Nightshade.
And we brought an eligible bachelor with us for you. Braeburn Apple! Excuse me, Your Majesty?
The stallion said.
But, silence! Allow us to examine thee!
Luna said. Braeburn blinked.
Okay.
Luna's horn flashed, and she scanned him carefully.
Thou art healthy and full of vitality,
she complimented.
Thank you kindly, Princess.
Braeburn said nervously.
Now, if your checkup is done... I'm contemplating whether or not I should do this as the royal counterpart voice. Fuck it. Let us proceed to make fools!
Luna said with all seriousness, though with a charming blush across her cheeks.
Wait, what?
Braeburn gasped as Luna advanced on him.
No, wait, just a cotton picking minute. Here you're flying femme fatale squad. A bus in takes me away from my mad friend while we're, occupied, and brings me to you,
He paused at Luna's surprised look. His country manners reasserted themselves.
Not that I wouldn't feel privileged to, Your Majesty, but damn it, I got a girl, and I don't feel too kind about cheating on her. Especially after she takes me down like crazy. Be downright impolite.
For he is Cockblockion the Magnificent. Luna blinked several times.
How can it... You know, never mind.
It's whatever.
I know what it is, but...
I don't know the female term. Wait.
The female is cock... I've only heard cockblock used to apply to females. I've never heard it used on a guy. Except when Owen Citizen did it, but that's beside the point. Let's move right along.
Look it up. She then glared at the assembled shadow cults.
Is this true?
She growled. Nightshade rubbed the back of her mane, coughing awkwardly.
Well, Your Majesty, I suppose we got a little carried away with ourselves.
Natrix said, pawing at the floor.
I was unconscious, so I don't know what happened.
Velvet defended herself.
It's like, we just seem to lose our heads around the holder of laughter. Okay, it's bold. Bro, kind of loud voice. What?
Alright.
Okay. What? Thou hast taken the stallion from Pegasus Italian pie, our beloved servant!
Luna gasped, slipping into the official Royal Canterlot voice. The Shadowbolts cowered behind Braeburn, who was trying to keep his hat on in the face of Luna's bellow.
Well, yes, we did.
Nightshade said.
A tiny bit like that.
In the midst of their love-making!
Luna thundered.
No matter the change in times, courtesy to others is a grave offense! Well, she may be the princess of the night, she may be insane, but by God, she has standards. And I need some water.
We love you. Anyway.
This is like, I was just following orders. That crazy pink pony nearly knocked my block off.
Velvet complained.
And another thing,
Nature's covered her mouth with a hoof as Nightshade nearly shivered out of her outfit.
Princess, I'm so sorry. Please, forgive the others. I was in command.
She threw herself before Luna, her face slamming into the floor.
I take full responsibility. Also, ow!
Luna's wrath abated for the moment. The sovereign goddess of the moon looked thoughtful.
Braeburn Apple, what wouldst thou say thine male friend was in the thrones of heat?
She asked. Braeburn blinked and then nodded very slowly.
Well, a bit, a smidge.
At Luna's raised eyebrow, he pulled his hat down to try and cover his blush.
She couldn't keep her hooves off me, ma'am.
And his grin.
And you are sure that she was picking a Diane Pie, holder of the elements of laughter?
Luna inquired.
Well, she sure weren't a granny.
Thankfully. Braeburn said, a bit defensively. Luna hummed thoughtfully and turned to the door. She tapped her hoof a few times. And a small spotted colt came into the room. He was wearing a round bowler hat.
Swag. Pip, a pipe if you would be so kind.
Luna asked. Pip smiled cheerfully and ran out. He came back in, pipe in his mouth, and the Luna monarch took the pipe. She sat down and frowned at the nearby wall, blowing the pipe. Bubbles emerged and drifted around the room. Bad ass! Bad fucking ass!
Alright.
Oh wait, it's a reference to Sherlock.
Duh!
Hey! Congratulations, Mr. Talon. Braeburn stared. He looked over at the Shadowbolts, who shrugged.
You said Shadow Colts.
Shadowbolts, Shadowbolts.
Whatever.
Who shrugged.
She does this sometimes.
Nightshade said with a long-suffering sigh.
Just roll with it. In the coat?
He asked. As Pip laughed and popped the bubbles adorably with his little nose. The whole thing seemed a little bizarre, even by the standards of this day.
She babysits for his parents. Isn't he adorable?
Velvet sighed.
I just want to eat him up.
Natrix giggled.
Wait.
Of course! Luna cried, standing up and holding a hoof up over her head with a triumphant smile. The Shadowbolts and Braeburn were blown off their hooves, while Pip had curled into a little ball and weathered the proverbial storm.
The elements of harmony are producing a kind of magical heat that is directly affected by its magics, and in turn those affected by the magic cast by the affected. My own magic shoots for the Shadowbolts have turned our servants into lusty.
She looked down at Pip, smiling up at her, filled with innocence and joy.
Pip, why don't you take mine pipe to the playroom?
Luna asked, levitating it to the little colt.
But we were going to play Sherlock Pounds.
Pip pouted. Luna smiled and bent her head down to nuzzle the top of the little colt's head.
I will play with thee later. Now get thee to the playroom.
She said kindly. Pip smiled back, waved adorably at the visitors, and galloped off.
As we were saying...
Luna resumed.
My own magic has been compromised! Therefore, the elements of harmony may induce lust quite outside the normal intensity for normal estrus.
So, why aren't we, trying to take Mr. Apple here?
Nightshade asked.
Simple!
Luna cried, making her subjects jump.
Your exposure to the elements is minimal, whereas I received a full ass right in front of my very face and deep within me.
She gasped.
Zounds! Which means my own sister is afflicted!
Well, I don't think we have to worry too much about that.
Nightshade tried to console her monarch.
I mean, it's not like there's some big, huge convention going on at the castle. She'll perform magic with loads of ponies, right?
Braeburn felt ice drop into the bottom of his stomach.
You mean like the Stallion convention?
Braeburn asked.
With jabs in Ponyville for in the first place?
Nightshade blinked. Velvet gaped. Natrix groaned.
Well, Well, they did the right thing by inviting Braeburn.
Mm-hmm.
Why does nobody else like Braeburn? The guy's awesome. Seriously, am I the only person out there who thinks Braeburn's a cool character? Anyway, moving right along. Yes, such an event it would be.
Luna trailed off and sighed.
Though we're not joking. No, I wasn't.
Braeburn said.
God!
Luna bellowed, and several stallions in silver armor appeared seemingly out of nowhere.
Inform our sister of this calamity. If we know Twilight Sparkle, and we do, she shall come here to rectify the situation using the elements of harmony.
But aren't they causing the situation?
Nightshade said.
Verily! But they are also the solutions to said situation. If their heats do not drive the entire population of Cantor to rut like animals out in the streets.
Luna boomed.
So, what are you going to do, Your Majesty?
Nightshade asked.
I am going to do what I should have done in the first place.
Go back to your closet. Luna cried. Her voice dropped to a more normal level.
Go hide in the playroom with Pipsqueak until this blows over.
But ain't you a princess? Ain't you supposed to...
Braeburn tried, but Luna glared at him. Her nose came into contact with his.
At this moment, my restraint hangs by a thread! Thine accent is most becoming.
Luna admitted, her cheeks blushing.
Sound, should my restraint slip, thy very life would most likely hang in the balance. Zounds! Can thou imagine what might happen after?
Braeburn had a pretty good idea.
Yep.
No, you maniacs! You wore them all out! Damn you all to hell!
Pipsqueak, last stallion alive, wailed as he shook his hooves at the buried monuments to Celestia and Luna. Giant statues of them in maid uniforms, winking across the barren, lifeless landscape.
Ah!
I get the reference.
Whatever.
Well, when you put it that way...
Braeburn gulped.
Makes sense to me. Good!
Luna said.
Shadowbolts! See this noble apple's return to his male friend.
Luna said.
Good day!
She vanished in a flash of light, leaving the room deserted save for Braeburn and the Shadowbolts. The Appaloosa farmer looked over his 3 females and gave them a nervous smile.
Guess we take me back to Pinkie Pie, right? Yes.
Nightshade said, her gaze becoming sultry.
But she didn't say when. See, with this magical influence over us...
Natrix purred. Braeburn had already been sweating bullets at the proximity of Princess Luna.
I feel they need to make a Megadeth reference here since that song is awesome, but I'm not going to.
But with these 3 mares, well, he felt like he could supply ammo for an entire water war. Continue.
Don't make reference. We can't be held accountable for our actions.
Velvet finished, licking her lips. Braeburn sighed.
Well, I'm mighty sorry your nice girls feel that way with what...
What damnation is that thing?
Braeburn cried, pointing out the window. The Shadowbolts glanced, just long enough for Braeburn to get out of their sight, and that was all he needed to gallop like hell out the door.
Shine on, you crazy diamond, Braeburn.
Meanwhile, just outside of the window overlooking the big-ass motherfucking ranch, the annual Studley Stallions, fair for manly ponies, was in full swing. Its attendants filling every corner of the palace's grand ballrooms and its expensive courtyards. Stallions of all size and description filled every available space, all of them extremely studly. Many were engaged in manly stallion activities, such as the contest to see who could hold the heaviest load of grand pianos filled with molten lead.
Damn.
An entire tent was filled with stallions engaging in the art of bending things. And in one corner of the ballroom, a group of extremely large and powerful built stallions were learning how to crochet.
Okay.
A Pegasus in golden armor walked among them. He would occasionally pause to nod at ponies he was familiar with, or to admire particularly Studley doily. But, for the most part, his eyes roamed high and low among the crowd and searching for something. As he roamed, a unicorn in the same armor walked up beside him, also looking around warily.
Okay, I got this one. Any sign of them?
Asked the unicorn guard.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Replied the Pegasus.
If I may, I don't think they're here. A couple of fillies would be pretty easy to spot in this crowd, but I have seen no hide nor hair one, even though I'm going over this place with a fine-tooth comb.
He held up his comb for emphasis, and his superior eyed it critically.
That is very fine-toothed. But don't give up yet, soldier. Our orders come directly from the princess. If she says the elements of harmony are going to appear at this convention, they probably will. Keep at it!
Yes, sir.
Why does that voice fit that situation so much?
The unicorn broke off from his compatriot and headed inside. Ascending the steps up to the palace's second floor, he slowly approached the princess herself, who was looking out over the proceedings from one of the ballroom's many balconies. She didn't seem to notice him at first, simply staring down at the crowd below. Unicorn blinked, then carefully followed her gaze, noting that the princess seemed to be closely scrutinizing a group of stallions, who were seeing who among them could do the most squats. Oh my! Celestia said something in a whisper, and the god shuffled just a bit closer in case it was meant for him.
Yes, Mama-like.
Not for him, then. The god carefully backed up a few steps, and then loudly cleared his throat. Princess immediately straightened up, and then turned to face him, blushing slightly and forcing a smile.
Ah, hello, Lieutenant. Anything to report?
Not yet, Your Majesty. But we're covering all the entrances and exits. If they show up, we'll know.
I am sure we will. Continue your patrol, Lieutenant.
Yes, Your Majesty.
He strode away, and Celestia watched him go. A slight blush rose on her cheek as she eyed his haunches for a long moment before she realized what she was doing and violently shook her head. When she opened her eyes, the god was gone, but she could still hear the hum and buzz of the countless stallions on the floor below, calling to her.
Twilight, I have the utmost faith in you, my most faithful student. But please, hurry.
Meanwhile,
Moving on!
Just outside the castle, located on the big ass motherfucking ranch,
Where all the manly stallions are.
only manly men doing manly things.
Like arm wrestling and grunting.
You just killed a small animal. It's time for a light beer.
Yes,
That's the doctor.
yes, indeed.
Said the doctor with a bright grin.
Here we are.
Candlelock Castle stood before them, the grand palace's gilded towers reaching into the sky and reflecting the light of the sun. Spike shaded his eyes with a claw as he peeked around the castle's gate. The doctor stood beside him, Twilight draped over his back like a rolled-up carpet. The others were off to one side. Big Mac was trying very hard to look like he wasn't aware that Fluttershy and Rarity were both trying very hard not to be obvious about rubbing their flanks gently against his sides. Soarin was lying quite contentedly on Applejack's back and watching the clouds with a serene expression on his face, while Applejack herself was purposefully looked everywhere except where her two best friends were coming on to her brother. Pinkie Pie was playing a game of solitaire. Prince Bluebird had been left by the side of the road like trash.
Like the trash he is.
Though they'd at least convinced Rarity not to put him through a compactor first.
She should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So, why are we hiding again?
Said Twilight, shifting awkwardly on the doctor's back.
Well, we don't want any pony to know we're bringing 6 hormonally berserk mares into the annual Studley Stallions Fair for manly ponies,
said the doctor cheerfully.
There might be a stampede. We need to keep the lot of you together and far away from the poor unsuspecting stallions as possible.
Logic!
That is logic!
Yeah. I am not berserk!
Bullshit, asserted Rarity.
Hormonally or otherwise! Do you want me to correct you?
Meh.
And these next 2 words. I am!
Said Pinkie Pie with a cheerful smile. At least she's honest.
Yep. The point is, we're keeping our eyes on you all.
Said Spike, turning and pointing 2 claws at his eyes, and then pointing them to the ponies.
What, Fluttershy got it too?
Asked Big Mac. Spike made a sound that only Winona could have heard.
There she is!
Said Twilight, cheerfully.
She's talking to the guards!
Oh, bollocks, groaned the doctor.
I do not believe that is entirely what's going on.
Said Big Mac.
Just done something to the guards.
Said Applejack.
That's alright, but you sure ain't talking to them. Spike, open your eyes!
Cried Twilight.
Too late!
The dragon said in a dull tone. The screams of the guard that managed to escape fade away and were replaced by other noises. The doctor's jaw dropped. My goodness. Look at her go.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry, Twilight, but look at her!
Okay, yeah, that is pretty impressive.
Spike was looking around frantically.
Guys, where did Pinkie Pie and Rarity go?
Big Mac and the doctor, startled, then whirled around to see what the dragon was talking about. All of us left on the ground beside the gate was a small pile of playing cards and a few hoof prints.
Oh no.
Twilight groaned.
This is bad. This is very bad. Did you see where they went, Applejack?
She might have,
Said Soarin.
but I don't know if that'll help us.
The doctor turned, and he and Twilight found the trussed-up Wonderbolt lying on the ground, his bound legs wiggling helplessly. They also found a distinct lack of Applejack.
I think this is Twilight.
Oh dear. Well, at least we know where Fluttershy is.
Big Mac prodded him on the shoulder.
Wait, that was the doctor. Go ahead.
Oh dear. Well, at least we know where Fluttershy is.
Big Mac prodded him on the shoulder. Doctor sighed heavily and turned again. The guy that hadn't managed to escape Fluttershy's affection was lying in a heap of exhausted pony on the ground, one leg gingerly twitching. Of the yellow Pegasus herself, there was no sign.
Oh well.
Said Twilight.
It was a good plan while it lasted, Doctor. If you'd be so kind, there's a nice shady tree over there you could deflower me under.
Oh no, the doctor snorted. We are not giving up that easily. Macintosh, Soarin, you go right.
Yup.
Said Big Mac as he hoisted Soarin over his shoulders and set off in a brisk trot.
You could probably untie me now. I could help you search over the flying and all.
No time. The doctor turned to Spike. You go left and keep an eye out for the princess. If any pony can pull off our haunches, can pull all of our haunches out of this mess, it's her.
Gotcha!
Spike scampered away. The doctor set his sights on the palace's main entrance and trotted forwards.
And we, Twilight, my dear, we'll take the middle.
Head on, Z!
I love it when you talk like that.
Meanwhile, back inside the palace on the ranch,
Your Majesty, they're here!
Celestia's head snapped forward from where she had been watching a pony named Flex Plexico, bending the rebar with his
Stifles.
stifles. One of her guards had rushed over to her and was now standing there panting, his armor in disarray and more than a few wing feathers out of place. The princess blinked in surprise.
Goodness, my little pony, what happened? Surely my faithful student could have been in that much trouble.
The guard swallowed nervously and straightened his helmet.
I don't know about that, Your Majesty. I didn't actually see Twilight sparkle. It was the yellow one. I think she is the element of kindness. Wow, those eyes, you know. And then well, I managed to escape, Your Majesty, but I think she got Private Pile. Where are you from?
Texas, sir!
Texas? My God! Only skiers and queers come from Texas,
and I don't see no horns
so that kind of nails it down!
God damn! I did not know they could stack shit that high! Anyway, moving right along.
Where was I? Oh, yeah.
Celestia stared at him for a long
time.
Wait.
I forgot this part. I could hear things!
Celestia stared at him for a long moment. The guard coughed.
Sexy things.
He elaborated. Celestia face-off.
This double face-off moment brought to you by Mountain Lyra. Yay.
All right, well, the Fluttershy's here. That must mean Twilight and the others are too. Find the lieutenant and let him know we're on maximum alert. The elements are here. We just have to find them. Get to it.
Yes, ma'am!
Meanwhile, elsewheres on the ranch.
Technically, we're not on the ranch anymore, but we can...
It's the castle on the ranch!
You know, I was going to say that!
What? Applejack moved to the sea of studs like an orange shark, eyes roaming high and low as she took in the veritable feast of high-quality horse flesh on display. She'd wandered into the strong pony portion of the convention, was surrounded on all sides by simply enormous stallions. Applejack wasn't exactly a small pony, but the males around her were truly titanic representations of the species, completely eclipsing her from view. And to top it off, their relative size left her right at eye level with some more than interesting portions of their anatomy. She almost slipped in her own drool once she had found herself face to backside with a pony sporting the biggest pair of apples she'd ever seen. Hormonal cues in the mare's brain slowly clicked into place, and she crouched, preparing to spring. A split second later, she was nearly concussed by a wagon wheel.
We apologize, Mental Gen. These characters actually have very specific voices. We're trying to figure them out.
Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry I didn't see you there. Applejack stared upwards, slack-jawed and wide-eyed as the biggest pony she'd ever laid eyes on reached a hoof down to help her up. He had dappled gray coat and closely cropped mane, a cutie mark shaped like an airplane, and a tow rope. What appeared to be an entire wagon hoisted carefully over his shoulders.
Yo, Luscombe Nordram,
she gasped. Oh, darn. I guess my reputation precedes me, chuckled Luscombe, gently brushing dust off Applejack's withers. Are you all right, miss?
Applejack,
said the farmer, blushing hotly.
Oh my gosh, I never thought I got the chance to meet you. Oh, the strongest pony in Equestria. Officially!
This will be my third year if I can hunt it, agreed the draft pony, adjusting the wagon to fit more comfortably. And speaking of, I need to get this back to the contest if they can fill it with the cider blocks and have me hurl through the third-story window. If there's anything else I can do for you, Miss Applejack.
You'll comply me like a field!
What?
Yeah.
Ahem! Applejack blinked and turned to find herself face to upside-down face with Soarin, who was hanging off of Big Macintosh's back, looking as forlorn as possible. Big Mac made a clicking noise with his teeth and the knitting needle in his mouth. Applejack winced.
Hello, son! Mac? What brings you up this way?
Soarin and Big Mac just glared at her. Applejack looked down and scuffed her hoof on the floor.
What's Americana? No, it wasn't.
Soarin and Big Mac glared.
Okay, fine. Let's go get the others.
Macintosh deposited Soarin on Applejack's back, and they headed off, leaving Luscombe staring after them in confusion. What the buck just happened?
Meanwhile,
in a different part of the castle on the ranch.
same general area.
Yep.
It's like, oh my goodness, this is the new line. Oh my goodness, is this the new line?
Handsel, the male pony model, turned to see a horrifically overweight white unicorn with a purple mane staring at him with naked, undisgusted lust. This, in and of itself, was not unusual for Handsel, but he'd rarely run into an overweight fan pony who...
Wait. That's Rarity! I messed up! I'm sorry, I must correct myself. Oh my goodness! Is that the new line?
Handsel, the male pony, turned to see a horrifically overweight white unicorn with a purple mane staring at him with naked, undisgusted lust. This, in and of itself, was not unusual for Handsel, but he'd rarely run into an overweight fan pony who actually knew what they were talking about. No pony had seen the new summer saddle line yet.
Is he calling Rarity overweight?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's an odd thing. What, this whole thing?
He said dismissively.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I knew it! I told Hoity-Toity the designs were to die for, and seeing them finished is so wonderful! Oh, do well, darling. Let me see how it looks all around.
Hansel's eyes widened, but he did what he was told.
You know Hoity-Toity? We haven't done a lot of real business together, but we brainstorm now and then. My, that does look quite fetching on you, doesn't it? Especially with that short tail look that's so in this year.
Handsel grinned. This fat pony knew what she was talking about.
Oh, I know, right? Let me tell you, I am loving this breeze. Yes, and it accents your backside so well. Everything is completely visible.
Boing! Handsel stopped pirouetting, and then let a small squeak as the unicorn began running a hoof over his haunch.
Wait.
It's Handsel.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure that it gets rather boring being stuck in a big room without... This is Rarity, you idiot! We are sorry, Mental Gen, there are no dialogue cues. We're sorry.
Proceeding!
Yeah. I'm sure it gets rather boring being stuck in a big room with all these other stallions around. A fine figure of a pony like yourself must be starving for some female attention.
He daintily stepped away, doing the best he could to keep the disgust off his face. And what was that smell?
Oh, sorry, Dale. You're nice and all. And certainly any friend of Hoity-Toity is a friend of mine. But how do I put this delicately? I'm not really into the heavier mares. I hope you understand.
The unicorn's face. The unicorn's face contorted in shock.
Yeah, heavy? Oh, now, don't take it the wrong way,
said Handsel, holding out a hoof pleadingly.
And before you people ask, yes, this is my best Owen Wilson voice. I'm sorry. I'm sure some ponies are into that, but, let's be honest here. I can't even see your ribs, and your legs don't look like anything too thin to support your weight. Why, I'd almost describe them as healthy. No, please, I'm flattered. But I'm no chubby chaser. Nothing personal.
The unicorn gaped at him, eyes wet with tears. Handsel was looking for an escape route when he felt a sudden source of heat in his back.
Chubby!
Handsel turned slowly to find himself staring at some kind of disgusting little purple and green lizard. The model gasped in horror.
Oh my gosh, what is that? Nobody calls Rarity chubby if I have anything to say about it! Oh my goodness, Spike! Don't hit him! He's a model! Vengeance! Aye! And that scene is over.
Meanwhile, another corner of the giant castle in the big fucking ranch. One corner of the vast hall was somewhat quieter than others, replaced with grunts and metallic noises of exercise equipment, with the quiet rustle of paper. An older unicorn with a wild mane and dark circles under his eyes was deep in conversation with several of the ponies, each of them carrying saddlebags stuffed with books, and occasionally pulling them out and referring to them as they spoke. Unicorn blinked suddenly and looked down to find another unicorn, much younger, purple, and female, lying on the floor beside him, staring upwards in glee. Some pony had tied her up.
You know, if any pony could move around while being tied up, it is Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh my gosh! You're Neigh Gaiman! Oh, I'm a huge fan! I just want you to know... your work was a huge inspiration for me, especially Equestrian Gods! I still need to pick up American Gods. Oh, but I love Sandmare too! I have all the book collections! Oh wow! I can't believe I'm actually getting to meet you! This is so amazing! Thank you,
Said Neigh, glancing around quizzically.
That's very nice of you, young filly. But I have to ask, why are you tied up? Sorry, I meant to die. Just need some water real quick. Oh, this? Don't worry about that. It's just so I won't hurt myself. Although, if you were really worried about me, I suppose it'd be okay if you untied me. Oh, alright. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm not just going to leave you on the floor here. Oh, but before you do, could you maybe drag me over to that secluded corner over there? That one over there? Where it would be theoretically out of sight from all the other stallions in attendance? Yes, right over there, where you could conceivably do absolutely anything you wanted to me.
Said Twilight softly, snuggling against Neigh's fetlocks.
Anything you want.
Neigh looked down at her for a long moment and then glanced up to see one of his companions.
With Celestia as my witness, Prancechett, I have no idea what I should do.
Well, hell, Gaiman. She's a spunky thing, isn't she? I'd say go for it.
There you are, said a third voice with the same accent. Doctor stepped over and glared down at the now furiously blushing Twilight. And just what do you have to say for yourself, young filly?
I guess I'm just a sucker for a pony who knows how to deconstruct classical mythology for a modern audience.
The doctor continued to glare.
I'll be good.
Good. Now come along, Twilight. We have to find the others before disaster strikes.
You know that's inevitable, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He trotted off, leaving Twilight to watch him go, then shrugged helplessly at the Arthur ponies. For a moment, the doctor turned and carefully picked her back up and settled her over his back. Okay, now come along. They set off. Neigh Gaiman watched them go, utterly flabbergasted expression. Well, I know what my next book is about, said Prancechett.
Meanwhile, in the same general vicinity,
On the big-ass fucking ranch! Lance.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry,
We have this picked out, but this thing is really kind of long.
Yeah.
Really kind of long, and we kind of lose track of
who's who, and again, these characters all have specific voices.
Last Marathon Flyer was in the process of limbering up when he heard a small, almost imperceptible squeak behind him. Glancing about, he saw a yellow Pegasus. Oh dear God! Run, you jackass! Run, goddamn succubus! Succubus trying to take my baby! With a big mane smiling at him. There was something otherworldly about that smile Lance had never seen expression simultaneously so serene and so frightening. Every fiber of his being told him to flee, but he found someone he could not. His hooves felt like lead. His wings were limp and useless. He was powerless in the face of her gaze.
He's like, oh my goodness.
The Pegasus said with a warm smile.
Just what is your line of work, sir? Are you an athlete?
Yes. So Lance, starting to sweat. Marathon flyer, actually.
Oh, really?
Said the Pegasus, licking her lips.
A marathon?
Marathon? Talon, you magnificent bastard! Let me say quick.
A marathon is a very long race, isn't it?
She's a goddamn succubus!
Succubus trying to take my baby!
Yes, he answered, wondering why the room suddenly felt so warm. Over 26 miles, in fact. Giggled the Pegasus as she slunk closer to him, stroking her wing gently against his haunch. Lance's wings immediately popped open of their own accord. Bang!
You must have a lot of endurance.
She purred.
Why, I'll bet you could keep on going and going and going.
It just keeps going and going and going and going.
Like the goddamn Energizer Bunny.
And like the goddamn succubus that she is. Succubus trying to take my baby! Moving right along!
Well, the marathon does usually take a few hours.
Hours?
She squealed. Stepping in front of Lance, her tail rose. Lance's eyes bulged.
That's quite a coincidence, because that's exactly how long I'd let you do.
Yeah. Come on now, girl. This ain't like you in the least.
She's a goddamn succubus!
Succubus trying to take my baby!
Fluttershy startled, turned to see Applejack, Big Mac, and Soarin all watching her with disappointed expressions on their faces. The old Pegasus pouted and wrapped her tail around Lance's neck.
No! You can't stop me! I need this! He's going to love me!
Please, Fluttershy.
Asked Applejack.
I don't know exactly what you're going through right now, believe me. But all we gotta do is get through this here convention, find the princess, excuse me, and then we can use the elements of harmony and get at some dang relief. Now tell me that don't sound better than molesting a whole bunch of stallions.
Fluttershy appeared to think about this.
It really doesn't, actually.
Applejack sighed.
I didn't want to do this, you know.
What are you?
Big Macintosh came up from behind Fluttershy all of a sudden, and before she knew it, she was lying on her back, all of her hooves tied together. She blinked at the big pony in shock.
It's like, Big Mac, you tied me up.
Yup. Which is starting to be a disturbingly common occurrence around here.
Fluttershy's eyelids drooped, and her smile turned even more syrupy than it had before.
If I knew you'd like this sort of thing, I would have asked you to do it a long time ago.
Big Mac twitched. Even his legendary self-control was being stretched thin at this point.
Don't let it get to you, bro. We're almost in the home stretch. Just grab on and let's go. We gotta find the others. Yup.
Somehow, he was never entirely sure how, Big Mac managed to haul a squirming and moaning bundle of Fluttershy up onto his back and followed his sister as she cantered away. Left behind, Lance simply sat and stared straight ahead. He still couldn't move, and if he stood up, every pony would be able to see his stallion hood hanging out anyway.
She's a goddamn succubus.
Succubus trying to take my baby.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the kitchen on the ranch, in the castle on the ranch, In the grand kitchen beneath Camelot Castle, another group of studly stallions gathered. Standing among them, his spotless white flanks and fabulous velvet coat glistening in the firelight from the ovens, Chairstallion Kaga presided over the flower-stained court of passion and chocolate chips.
Do you want to do the honors?
I'll try. My ponies, he announced. On today's special edition of Iron Bicker, our theme ingredient shall be pomegranate. Begin! The bakers leaped to their stations, and Kaga consumed a cake with unnatural gusto.
Cupcake with unnatural gusto.
Cupcake, cake, same thing.
Whatever.
When he reached for another, however, he discovered that it was no longer there. His place was a pink pony who was beaming at him in something approaching awe. Can I help you, miss?
Oh, yes, Chairstallion Kaga!
She squealed.
I am in such a dilemma. I have a pink muffin that so badly needs some of your special frosting. Oh, will you give it to me? Will you? Please say you will.
I can't believe I managed to do that again.
Kaga raised an eyebrow. Are you coming on to me, miss?
Oh, no. That is what I want you to do to me.
Oh, dear God! Did not want in brain. Anyway, this is highly irregular. Pinkie Pie leaned in and rubbed her soft mane against Kaga's coat, blinking her big baby blues and whimpering plaintively.
Please, Chairstallion Kaga, you wouldn't leave a mare in distress, would you?
And you,
said Rarity, appearing as if by magic directly behind Pinkie Pie.
would not leave a stallion in distress, would you?
Pinkie blinked.
What? I seem to recall you being very upset about a certain pony being abducted not too long ago.
Said Rarity sternly.
A certain pony who had already done quite a bit for your distress. I wonder what he would say now if he could see you like this, just forgetting him for the first pony with a nice flank that came along.
Pinkie's eyes widened and she immediately looked downcast.
Oh, Braeburn, right.
Slut.
Meh, it's Pinkie Pie, she's prone to distractions. I'd imagine he's somewhere in this castle.
Said Rarity.
And if I were you, and I were really worried. Oh, sorry, I thought that was wrong. And I were worried about the poor stallion thing. I would be meeting with the others and finding Princess Celestia so we can get this all sorted out.
You're right, Rarity. Thanks. You're a really good friend.
Oh, no need to thank me.
Said Rarity, patting Pinkie on the shoulder.
Just head upstairs. I think I saw Twilight and Applejack over by the stage. You can't miss them.
Right, I'm on it!
Pinkie took off. Rarity watched her go and then turned to Kaga.
It's like, and now that she's gone, perhaps you would be interested in a real mare.
Whore. Spike hopped into the fashionista's back and frowned.
Yeah, never mind. You know, it's only just occurring to me now we missed a golden opportunity for the whips and chains and kinky leather joke. Oh well, we did enough of that already.
Later.
There'll be time for more.
Meanwhile, on the balcony overlooking the castle and the ranch.
Your Majesty, we've located them! Oh, that's still going on. We think they're trying to get through the convention halls and make it to the halls that lead up to your castle's upper tiers.
Excellent, neighed Celestia. Twilight must have figured something out. Oh, quickly intercept them. Let them know I'm here to help.
Certainly, Your Majesty. But,
The guard rubbed his forelegs together nervously. Celestia blinked in confusion. What's the matter?
Could you please let me go?
Celestia looked down to see her own foreleg wrapped around the guard's body, pulling him tightly against her. Blushing slightly, she carefully removed the appendage and then took several steps away from him. Sorry.
Don't mention it.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the castle and the ranch, Rarity, with Spike clinging angrily under her back, ran up to the other ponies standing in a small group next to the large stage that had been set up for the convention. The doctor let out a sigh of relief as she arrived. Ah, good, we're all here. I really was starting to worry there. Now, have all the previously gathered elements of harmony been collected?
Well, I've got Rarity.
Said Spike a little smugly.
And there's Twilight, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and... Is that Fluttershy ussed up like... Is that Flucker... I almost said Flutterfuckershy. Isn't that a Tumblr page?
I don't know.
Whatever. Is that Fluttershy ussed up like a turkey on your back? Yup.
Said Big Macintosh. The big pony abruptly bit his knitting needle in half as Fluttershy started nuzzling his neck from behind.
Hey, look!
Said Twilight from atop the doctor.
Guards! What?
Gasped Applejack. Sure enough, a number of blue mohawk helmets were moving through the crowd, slowly but steadily towards them.
Oh no! We gotta get out of here! Why?
What?
Okay. And Spike is the only one with logical sense here. Wait, why would we be trying to get away from them?
Said Spike.
We're trying to find the princess, aren't we? They'll recognize Twilight and take us right to her.
Hold on. That would be a wonderful plan, said the doctor, if Twilight was not currently tied up on and draped over my back as if I was kidnapping her.
No!
Wailed Pinkie.
I'm not going back to jail!
What?
It's Pinkie Pie. I'm not surprised at all.
I do cocaine.
And Dr. X! No, I have to do this correctly. And Pinkie Pie, the rock and roll bunny! I do cocaine!
Hey, said Soarin. What's that noise? It started with a crack, like thunder, breaking over the thunder plains of Slipnear's fury. Now a national park! Enjoy camping and hiking on the many scenic trails.
Also, kudos for the Slipnir reference. The Odin's horse, the god of all the ponies, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
Slipnir. Wasn't he the...
Slipnir is the 8-legged horse that Odin rides into battle.
Slipnir, Loki's kid that was conceived after Loki turned himself into a female and got fucked by a horse.
Yes. Loki actually has 3 children that were... actually, 4. That were...
Fenrir, Slipnir...
Yeah, there's Fenrir, Slipnir, Hel, and the Midgard Serpent. Which I am not gonna get into!
Slut. Anyway.
It's Loki.
Then it turned into...
This is why I like Tom Hiddleston's version of Loki better, because at least that version would not put up with this bullshit!
It's only a matter of time.
Dude, the day they portray Tom Hiddleston doing that kind of thing is the same day they decide to say it's okay for Benedict Cumberbatch to do it.
It's only a matter of time. It's the internet. Google it.
I am afraid we have just given people that as ideas.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Then it turned into a massive boom.
For those of you who draw porn and listen to us, if you do this,
send it to him.
I will hunt you down!
Send it to him.
I will hunt you down!
Send it to him.
Daedaltheus, you are trying my patience!
Send it to him. Then it turned into a massive boom. As every window in Canterlot seemed to shake, and everything not bolted to the floor trembled and clattered. Light of every color shone through the glass windows, and danced all over the shocked patrons of the convention. Concerned murmuring shouts whispered, even a few booyahs echoed across the great hall. All 5 mares in the party shivered as a familiar sensation of raw magical power surged through them.
It's like, By Celestia's Moon! By Celestia Moon's 90-letter catalog!
Swore Pinkie Pie.
With leather accessories!
Whips and chains and kinky leather, Soarin's getting laid tonight!
Oh, Christus, you dirty chick! You're supposed to say what? The one time we get to do this, and you still can't get the joke right!
Whatever.
You got mad at me the I need a minute, people. And
I think
some
a more
more
pertinent question. Your turn.
Okay. First some water.
Ladies and gentlemen, live for your viewing pleasure, Beating the Heat Chapter 9, where Daedaltheus drives Razor insane.
Quiet, or I will smack you with my pimp hand.
Imposters will not be appreciated. You'll be double smacked with the ring hand.
Where were we?
Speak.
Oh, yeah. That was a sonic rain boom, no doubt! That was a sonic rain boom! No doubt about it!
Twilight gasped.
What is Rainbow Dash doing? Apparently, it is possible to fuck 4 stallions while performing a sonic boom. She just did it!
We salute you.
This moment of salute brought to you by Dr.
Sparkle Cola, now available in stores. And remember, find a place to hide your bottle caps.
Jotaro!
I think a more pertinent question is, what is Fluttershy doing? The doctor said, pointing his hoof at the stage. Twilight looked at the stage, then back to where she was supposed to be. She glared.
Big Mac!
She hissed.
Sorry.
The big stallion said,
She, slipped! She's a might bit slippery.
Big Mac said with a cough. The convention hall was soon filled with feedback from the microphone on stage as Fluttershy tapped it.
Can you do Fluttershy? Because I might need your help with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Is this thing on?
Fluttershy asked.
Oh, well, that's simply wonderful. Hello, every pony. I just wanted to ask all of you if maybe you wouldn't mind running me until I can't see straight anymore. I mean, if that's all right with you, that is.
My God, stereo Fluttershy does not work at all. Note to self, never do that again. It doesn't work.
Meh.
And if you thought people that shit had hit the fan already,
Here comes the motherfucking load. Her infamous stare connected with multiple members of the audience. Glazed looks broke out amongst most of the stallions. Twilight and her friends backed away as the crowd began to advance.
Fluttershy!
Asked one nerdy stallion.
The ultra-hot model?
The holder of the element of kindness. An athletic pony gasped.
it's like that hot willing mouth.
Another said.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am! Rang out through the hall.
Now, would you look at that?
Said Rarity, gesturing at the stage.
You see how she did that? Why can't I do that? I'm the one who should have stallions eating out of my hooves and offering to cater my every physical need. How does she do that?
'Cause she's a goddamn succubus! Succubus trying to take my baby!
I do not regret at all I do not regret at all to any people who might be listening outside my door.
We know you're watching.
We know you're... Oh, and to the people above me, you do realize I can hear everything you're doing, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Anyway, proceeding.
Where are we? Oh, yeah, right here. Did I say this?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, you want to be routed by 1,000 stallions?
Balked Applejack.
Right now, yes!
Spike buried his face in his palms, and the doctor comfortably patted his scaly shoulder. Twilight tried to do as well, but she was tied up at the moment.
At once?
Whimpered Pinkie Pie. Rarity's eyes widened as the crowd's advance started to turn frantic and ugly.
Oops. Fluttershy,
Big Mac mumbled as he glared up on the stage.
you done goofed. Run away! Run away! Run away!
The doctor, Twilight, and Spike yelled. The entire party galloped, only pausing long enough to grab Fluttershy as the convention crowd turned into an all-out stampede.
And that ends Chapter 9. Author's note at the bottom.
Once again, a huge thank you to Friendly Uncle and the Sage of Toads for their massive, throbbing help in this story, and this chapter in particular. More to come, stay tuned. Now surely, that is some kind of innuendo. Anyway, Mental Gen. Stay tuned for more characters to be introduced in the following chapter.
And for even more shit to hit the obligatory fan that is probably now so covered in shit, there is no longer a fan to be seen.
Just a mountain of shit.
Would you believe me if I told you we were just getting started?
Yes, stay tuned for further introduction. Yes, very interesting things, to say the least. Anyway, Metal Gen, it has been a fun night.